It's finally here. Goda has cooked. Peak Peace is back again. Vegapunk's message reveal changes.
Wait a minute.
I have made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I do not expect to be forgiven. I should have had more faith in Goda.
Take this L.
Okay, the wait was excruciating, but it was worth it, as Vegapunk's message changes everything we know about Emu and the 800-year plan of the world government, which is to sink the entire world. Yep, everything is about to be cooked, and if you're a devil fruit user, your entire career is over. This revelation also confirms that Emu is indeed the Umibozu yokai, where every one of his Gorosei minions are well versed in the voice of all things. But before all that, we gotta get to know what the bubbles were last chapter, and drumroll please, it's Vegapunk's big ass head. Vegapunk's true brain is being kept in a gigantic container that keeps it alive while separated from his body. If you're creeped out by this, you aren't alone. Even Mars begins to question what death means when you consider a life being held onto in this way. Is it just Vegapunk's memories in there, or is his consciousness still alive? Regardless of the dystopian sight before him, Mars looks to the Dendenmushi on the ground and stomps on it, hoping to stop the broadcast. However, Vegapunk was one step ahead. This was yet another diversion, and under the shell was just a normal transponder snail.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
With the clock now ticking down to only 30 seconds remaining, there is no longer any time for the Gorosei to find the true source of the broadcast, and despite their best efforts, it begins. We see people from all over the world listening in on their snails, from Kaya to Crocus to the people of Baltimore and even the pirates of Hachinose. It doesn't matter who or where they live. The world stood in silence waiting on Vegapunk's words. Of course, the only ones who didn't want to hear him were the Gorosei, who become even more aggressive as the message starts. Adding even more weight to this moment is Mars warning the rest of the Gorosei that Vegapunk was trying to carry the torch of the Ohara scholars and was about to finish what they started by revealing the truth to the entire world. As for the other Gorosei, Samurai Gandhi is on a rampage trying to get through Frankie to get to Bonnie. But Sanji shows up to save her. This is a massive W for Sanji. I gotta give credit where credit is due. Honestly, bro, we live in wild times. Bro is actually pulling at his weight now. For real though, with the protect women alarm going off in Sanji's head, he holds his own against Venus, a top tier. Bro even forces Venus to transform into his Bankatsu form, a flaming spectral horse with arms that can still carry his sword for him. Big ups to Sanji. Let's give him some clap.
Oh, what y'all doing? Hold on. Hey!
Oh my god, not again! I'm rooting for the Gorosei now! Like, get this 5-Anji trash off my screen! You know the truth about Buddy! You saw her when she landed onto her ship, bro! Get out of here!
For the love of God! Please!
This new form of Venus turns the tides, and his horse mouth chomps down on 5-Anji, literally breaking his bones in half. Thank God, bro. Break more of his bones. Meaning that in the next chapter, we will see Zombie Sanji once again repairing all the damage for him to get broken again. Luckily, Oimo and Kashi are here to save this fraud's ass. And real quick here, can we talk about just how big this dude is? When we see Sanji kicking Venus, Sanji is smaller than Venus's head. And when the giants grab him, it looks like he's a horse big enough for them to ride. Even the trees around them don't make it up to the horse's knees. They aren't the only ones becoming big though, as Bonnie uses her fruit to get a giant-ish future where she's even larger than Venus. This is truly a sight to behold, as after witnessing Luffy, Bonnie herself is becoming more proficient in using her future Nika-ish powers, where a 12-year-old girl is stomping on this senile bozo. Also, I'm pretty sure Sanji is getting big too. Meanwhile, Vegapunk's message tells the world a few things. Firstly, he's going to be executed for his transgressions, and that the broadcast was set to begin when his heart stopped. To this, we get all the reactions you might expect to Vegapunk being dead. Duval is confused because he was supposed to be held hostage by the Straw Hats and he knows they wouldn't kill him. Caesar Clown and Judge are freaking out because they had just begun working together as Neo-Mads to surpass Vegapunk, and now he will never get to see what they can do. And finally, big news, Morgans is angry because this new technology will kill print media. This dude is completely unconcerned with Vegapunk's death. He's just worried about the views, bro. Second, Vegapunk begs the world to understand that the ones who killed him are not evil, no matter who they seem to be, adding that he won't discuss right and wrong because he doesn't know enough about him to judge. This does several things. It is very likely that the blame for Vegapunk's death will publicly be placed on the Straw Hats. By making this claim, Vegapunk allows the world to doubt what they hear. It also puts into question the Goroseis though. If he is being killed for transgressions, then it is likely he needed to make someone very high up very angry, and so people with a bit of common sense can jump to the Gorosei or the Marines being the ones who really killed him. However, hidden in this statement is also the idea of him. He isn't killed by a them or a group, so while the Straw Hats will be blamed, they can't be the culprits. Him also doesn't fit for a collection of people like the Gorosei or the Marines. So Vegapunk's transgressions must be against one singular being, someone with power to eliminate the greatest mind in the entire world for opposing him, and which is Imu-sama. As for what Vegapunk's message tells us is that we don't have Imu figured out yet. That while he seems to be an ultimate evil, there might still be more that we don't know. Either way, hearing Vegapunk allude to the hidden master of the world, Saturn panics and tries to clear through the Straw Hats and stop the broadcast, but he is stopped when he sees Robin. She immediately recognizes his voice and thinks back to the man who had ordered the destruction of Ohara. Saturn commanded the Marines to wipe her people off the face of the planet. Interestingly, Saturn blames Akainu for allowing Robin to leave rather than Aokiji, but regardless of who was to blame all those years ago, he would be the one to finish the job now. As he goes to kill Robin, Nami calls for everyone to protect her. She dives to push Robin out of the way, summoning Zeus to block the attack. Chopper jumps into guard point to act as well. And Usopp, what are you doing, Usopp? Bro, put the slingshot down. You ain't doing nothing. Usopp, listen, bro. Just order some gamer subs. Use code ABD, free shipping, 10% off. Get that shit. Lock in, and maybe you can do something. So this is the collection of the weakest Straw Hats. No Zoro, no Sanji, no Luffy, no Jinbei, even Frankie isn't there to help them, and they are holding off a transformed Gorosei member, all to save Robin. This will most likely be the moment we see Robin go full throttle. Similar to her fighting a spider in Black Maria who used pills to enhance her zone form. Robin will need to overcome her PTSD by squashing another insect with her Giganto feet. From the very start of Egghead, Robin's trauma and involvement of Ohara has laid a perfect storm for her to affirm her 1 billion berry bounty threat. But listen, the broadcast is still going on, so who the hell has the key for it? It's of course Monkey Deadbeat!
Come on now, dog.
Okay, seriously, okay, I'm not trolling, don't cut me out, look, seriously, look at the broadcast snail, look at this broadcast snail, okay, now look at the snail next to Dragon, look at his feet, right next to his feet, do they not look similar to each other? This is proof, Dragon has the snail, guys.
Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
Even York last chapter said that the snail that's doing the broadcast is a triangle, okay? So, what if, hear me out, okay? Dragon has the broadcast key. I'm not crazy. I swear I'm not crazy.
Stop it. Get some help.
Anyways, Mars begins wondering if he should just destroy the power plant, but Saturn rejects the idea because if they do it, they will also destroy the only means of producing Mother Flame. One more thing about the dragon thing, you know when Vegapunk said, like, I'm about to die? Like, that was a warning, like, your transponder snail about to broadcast, okay? That's why we saw that scene of Dragon and Call with Shaka in the beginning. Okay, back to Mother Flame. They can't just destroy the island, okay? Because they would also lose a lot lot of marine ships, soldiers, all that shit. Let's be honest, he called them insects, but they'll still lose a lot, so they don't want to just blow up the entire island. Mars also says something interesting here though. He mentions that there are too many life forms around the lab, so he can't sense unique telepathic waves. It's our first real look at how the Goroseis communicate with each other, and it seems like it is less effective when others are nearby. This could imply that the Gorosei have the ability of the voice of all things, where they are able to control it to some degree. Let's not forget, Luffy and Momonosuke use of this was a great help during the Wano War, so the Gorosei living for such a long time might have unlocked its secrets. But talking of secrets, Vegapunk reveals the biggest one of them all, the imminent future. That is, the world will drown, with everything that comes after being his evidence for it. And his proof, of course, lies in what happened 800 years ago, when the ancient kingdom lost to Imu and the 20 allied nations. This great flood is something Imu has been wanting to cause for nearly a millennium. That's why Joy Boy was constructing the great ship of Noah. He wanted to make sure, even if the world drowns, he can save the people inside of it. That is also why the Buccaneer race were persecuted, as they too wanted to save others like Kuma, and with the name being Buccaneer, they helped construct Noah. However, it never came to fruition because Joy Boy and the ancient kingdom stopped Imu at the expense of their death. Let me explain. We know that Imu did start the Great Flood 800 years ago due to old Wano being underwater, the existence of Impel Down in the Calm Belt, and finally, in Jinbei's cover story, he discovers a poneglyph in some underwater ruins, suggesting that humans lived on the seabed. And Joy Boy, understanding the consequences of the flood wiping all knowledge from the world, he prepared the poneglyphs and made Zunisha carry the burden of Zou for 800 years as punishment. Because the great crime Zunisha committed was, of course, getting tricked by Imu and giving him the weapon to cause all this destruction, which Imu uses once again for the destruction of Lucia, causing the sea levels all around the world to rise by 1 meter. This drowned many islands and beaches all across the planet. But 800 years ago, when Imu started to use this weapon, Joy Boy and the ancient kingdom hid or destroyed the fuel source for Uranus. The likely spot where the sea level rise was started is, of course, the giant sea sinkhole at Eni's lobby, where even to this day, the sea level around Water 7 is still rising and Aqua Laguna is getting more ferocious. The fate of Water 7 will be the fate of the entire world soon enough. However, if Imu is able to create more holes, then this process of drowning will speed up even more. Now, only 1 meter rise doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to remember that it's only the beginning. The water level rise doesn't stop, as this phenomena is occurring even in Alabasta, where the sea is getting rid of the Shandora River inch by inch. By the way, at about 30-meter rise in our world, all of Florida is submerged. Honestly, that's not a loss.
What did he say?
This is why York and Vegapunk's factory is so important to the Gorosei. Vegapunk created for them what Imu was waiting for all this time. And if you're thinking, isn't waiting for the sea to rise inch by inch kind of boring, and what does Imu hope to achieve? Well, the concept of time is different to immortal beings like the Gorosei. While we are limited by our TikTok brain rot and death, this can't be applied to them. That's why they started the project to build Tequila Wolf to bridge the world, and in 800 years, they haven't connected a single island. The Gorosei and Imu don't consider themselves humans. They are a life form that exists above everyone else. Imu's great cleansing literally means they want to wash away the filth of the lower races. Complete eradication of all diversity to make sure their home or planet has no more insects left. That is why Imu wants to flood the world. It kind of reminds you of a certain Austrian painter from the 1930s. But there is one question still left. If Imu floods the entire world, what will he rule? Well, this then brings us to the theory of Imu's devil fruit, where he has the power over the sea itself. If the entire world is the sea, then everything under the sun can be controlled by Imu. It's possible that Imu can't create new seawater, but can only control what's already present. That's why this world flooding is so important to him. The evidence of Imu's fruit, of course, comes from his zone form silhouette, looking kinda like the Umibozu, where it's a sea yokai that pops up to destroy ships. Perhaps ships carrying Binks' sake or liberation. Furthermore, Imu backwards in Japanese literally means sea, and if Imu can control the sea, you also control devil fruits, which are manifestations of people's dreams. Since devil fruit users can't swim, and if the whole world is ocean, then dreams themselves drown before Imu. The sea is the ultimate form of restriction and control in the One Piece world, which is only there to divide people. It is actually opposite of what Vegapunk wanted with his inventions. It's tragic to see him being manipulated like this, as it's clear that without his help, Imu's plan wouldn't come to fruition just yet. He gave them the fuel source, which is now powering the drowning of the planet. Vegapunk's dream was to bring peace and prosperity to everyone in the world through science. That's why he created this fuel for the government, which is potent enough to power an island buster, which can literally scare the sea away. However, the real reason the government wanted him to create this was to destroy the world, and now he feels guilt beyond imagination. Everything he did to Kuma, Bonnie, Kaido, King, and so many others was for the goal of helping the masses, but it has all come back to bite him in the ass. That's why Vegapunk has started the message to reveal to the world the real truth. It's a way for him to atone for his sins. And if you guys want to know more about this crazy history of Imu, then watch our theory on what exactly happened 800 years ago, where we outline everything that happens in the One Piece world from like 10,000 years ago. So watch that video now.